Hey guys, hello. What is up? We're a little bit late. We had some technical issues, but I think we're all good. I think we are all good now. So you know the drill. When you're here, pop in the comments, I'm here, and then your name, so I can see who's joining us. Cam and I have just got back from our new gym that we're training at. Just had a quick little workout. And here we are. Today we're going to talk about reverse dieting. I'm a little sick, I think, guys. So if I sneeze, if I'm sniffing, apologies. I don't know. I think coming down with something again. Hey Jane. Hey Sam. Hello. Welcome. Let's get Cam in here a little bit more. Here you go, Cam. Everyone wants to see your beautiful face.
That looks such good quality. It's better than my eyesight. I'm not used to seeing this quality.
Oh,
it's like I've got my glasses on.
Hey Jody, how's it going, Jody? This is something you've actually gone through yourself. So we have only got like 20 minutes. So should we jump in?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about reverse dieting. What is it? Do you need to be doing it? What are the pros? What are the cons? That kind of jazz. And if you've got any questions, of course, drop them in the comment box and we will get back to you either here, if we've got time, or we'll drop you a message later, or maybe even do a whole live on that topic, on that question, wherever you want. So, hey Jenna, the first thing is like, what is reverse dieting?
Oh, you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
So reverse dieting is like a process where you can have two ways of doing it, where it's really used on someone that has been dieting for like a prolonged amount of time, which is a lot of people. Although they do come out of it and have big binges, we're on about people that have been in a calorie deficit for like a long time, and then we want to basically rebuild your calories back up.
Yeah, so reverse dieting is exactly what it sounds like. It is reversing the diet. So diet is eating less and a reverse diet is eating more, to put it very simply. So what are the benefits of it actually? Let's go into the benefits first. What are the pros?
I think the biggest one is like sustainable weight loss. You're much more likely to sustain the results that you've gotten and stay where you are, rather where people get to where they get to their goal and then they just go straight back to what they were doing before, and then lo and behold, 2, 3, 4, 5 months later, they've lost 50 pounds and then they've gained 55, and then it's back to square one.
Yeah, and I think the problem with that is that people see diet as like a short-term fix, and that's what typically happens with like yo-yo dieters. They're like, I'm going to do this until I hit this weight and then I can go back to normal. They see it as like a real intense period of life, instead of being like, okay, how can I make a lifestyle change? How can I make this easy and bearable that I can continue for, maybe not forever, because you don't want to be in a deficit forever, but long term, and how can I kind of enjoy it at the same time, instead of some people who just want to be like, I want it hard. We know it's like girls, quick and hard. That is what people think about diet, basically, instead of thinking, okay, well, how can I lengthen this? How can I enjoy it a little bit more, enjoy the process, instead of just focusing on getting to the end, whatever. So we're off topic already. So that is, I think, the problem with why people go back. Like you say, they lose 50 pounds and they gain 55 because they've gone on it, got to their goal, and be like, okay, well, I'm back to normal now. I can eat as normal. But the way that you were eating, which is quote unquote normal, is the problem. That's why you're in this situation in the first place. So what are the cons? So the pros is that they can eat more, they're more sustainable. But what's the cons? Like, what are the negatives of reverse
dieting? It just prolongs the diet. Like, what's the diet after the diet? So you've done the diet and then you reverse back out of it, so you have the best chance of sustaining it, like we just said. But it just adds weeks on. People are so desperate to get out of a diet because it's so extreme. Like, you don't have to go to extreme. It doesn't have to be miserable. There may be points where it is, but it doesn't have to be the whole time. The more miserable you make it, the more you just want to get out. So it's just about coming out of it. And then what was the other one? So sustaining your results, Are we looking at the cons?
Yeah, the negatives.
Oh, what was I going to say?
I've got one. I'll say it.
It takes ages.
Yeah, it takes ages. But for girls, for women in particular, it's very difficult to eat more because we've been told over and over and over to eat less and less and less. So put in the comments if you would be afraid or scared to eat more. So you've been dieting. Maybe you're stuck at a plateau. Maybe you've just been dieting for like 4 months plus. And now I say to you, okay, let's add more calories. Who that's watching, pop in the comments, say me if you would be scared, because Rachel's here, she's done a reverse diet. Jodie's here, she's done a reverse diet, and both of those two were scared. And like a lot of our clients, it's very, very normal. Sam, depending on which Sam this is, and Jane says she's terrified of eating more, depending on which Sam that is, because we've got a couple of Sams. One of our Sams in maintenance now, so that does mean eating more. Tracy Ann says totally been dieting for 8 months. Gosh, yes, 8 months is a long time to be in a deficit. It's not something I would personally recommend. Jenna's done it as well. She's done it. She's been there, done that.
I think that was my second point. I completely forgot. Is the con is like the psychological thing.
Yeah.
The psychological is so hard.
Yeah.
That's why people don't do it, because it's more uncomfortable. Like people love losing weight, or
they love the like physical hardness, don't they?
Yeah, and like what do you call it? Like the wins. They're so used to like going down weight is a win, going up weight is a loss, but it's not, because you're going to have to go up a little bit of weight at some point. You can never stay at your all-time lowest. You'll always go back up a couple of pounds because you've dieted to get there on lower calories. So when you turn back to your maintenance calories, you'll always gain a few added pounds. And that's the biggest thing. And the biggest challenges for us when we reverse diet clients is just reassuring them that it's okay, it's completely normal, it's not all fat. You can't stay low forever.
Someone says here, I reverse dieted for 14 months and was terrified of weight gain. Who's that? Let us know. Claire also says we look tanned.
Is it the filter we got on?
We've got a filter. And actually, funny enough, yesterday I said to you, didn't know, the day before, I was like, oh my God, I feel really pale now. But thank you, Claire. Looking good. Thank you. Tracy Ann says, I'm so tired of chicken or mince with veg. Yeah, after 8 months, I would be as well. I'd be heaving, I think, every time I thought of chicken. So yeah, a lot of the girls, and myself included, you're so used to seeing the scale go down, and that is the kind of point of dieting. And that's why people like the scale, I think, because they see it going down. They're like, yes, it's imminent. It's imminent
results.
Yeah. And you can kind of see if you're on the right track. When you're reverse dieting, you might be eating more. Well, you will be eating more. You might be gaining a bit of weight, but you don't know whether that is body fat or muscle. And it will be both. If you're training correctly, you will still gain fat. I think it's 1-to-1, isn't it? The average is 1 pound of fat and 1 pound of muscle is kind of what you would gain.
It can be 2-to-1.
It can be 2-to-1.
You've got to be pretty dialed in.
Yeah, and to get 2-to-1, so you'd have 2 pounds of muscle, 1 pound of fat. Then you would need to be sleeping perfectly. Stress would need to be managed. Your macros would need to be like spot on. Your steps, your water, all of the other things would need to be spot on, and have a good exercise routine, of course, resistance training. Whereas if you sleep is bad, if you're like, oh, fuck stress management, I'm not bothered about that, it'll be fat. It will be more fat than muscle. So I think the problem is we're so used to seeing the scale go down, and that is the desired result, that when we start seeing the scales go up, we think we're doing something wrong. And for women, it's very psychologically hard. And personally, I think reverse dieting or maintenance is harder than weight loss.
Yeah, so I think people have been doing weight loss on and off all the time. And if we did it to the bare bones, if you told people to lose weight, they could do it. Like they just do the extreme, but they could lose weight.
Yeah,
it's the maintain. It's not like the whole world has like a weight loss problem. People have done it. People have lost hundreds of pounds, 20 pounds, 50 pounds. Keto, great example. I was in a Facebook group the other day, and someone said something about keto, and then she's like, oh, I lost 50 pounds and I gained like 60, and then everyone's like, same, I did this, same, I did this.
Put in the comments, guys, if you have lost weight in the past, if you've lost a pound, 10 pounds, 20 pounds, put in the comments how much you've lost before. honestly.
That's the key thing. Is it the problem to lose weight? Because you could do it if you had a gun to your head, you would do it. But it's the maintaining, and then even like going in the other way, building within it.
Yeah, maintenance is so challenging. It's so easy to slip into bad habits, old bad habits. Yeah, exactly. And Rachel, I think that was something you worried about, is undoing all your hard work is a real scary thing. Jenna says many times, many amounts. Jodie says 20 pounds. Jodie's done really well, and she's neat. Neat is the right word for her, I think. I lost 2 stone recently, but 4 stone in the past with shakes. Yeah. Oh God. Well, at least we're eating more now, Tracy Ann. I mean, there's chicken and broccoli, chicken and rice and veg, but at least it's better than a shake, eh? Sam P, 8.5 stone. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? Amazing. Yeah, so you guys have all lost the weight before, but it's not about the weight loss that's the problem, it's the maintenance, yeah? And what, like Cam said earlier on, the diet after the diet. So like Cam was alluded to earlier, we don't have a weight loss problem, we have a weight maintenance problem and a lifestyle kind of habit problem, behavioral issues.
So, I mean, is the problem that you don't know the exact calorie amount? Or is it that you don't know the perfect amount of protein, or that you don't have all this information and facts? Because all the information and facts are on Google. Yes, you could follow the wrong person and, I don't know, end up keto or carnivore. But if you search for long enough and hard enough, like, we're still learning, and the people we choose to learn from, it's just where we pick better people to choose from. Like, we pick people that are evidence-based, research-based, and they have evidence with working with thousands of clients, whether it's 6-figure clients to like the average Joe, rather than just picking random people off the internet to listen to. So you just got to be aware where you get your information from.
Yeah, I wanna interject here about the girl from this morning, the woman from this morning.
She's been triggered.
I'm triggered now. This is a perfect example of being careful about who you follow on Facebook. And to be honest, I need to now make sure I'm not accepting friend requests from every Tom, Dick, and Harry, because today I saw someone and they put up a hierarchy pyramid, which I love a pyramid, it's fine. And it was all about meat. And I read her post and it was like, we don't need vegetables, we don't need fruit, all we need is meat. The carnivore diet is the one to do. And I was like, fuck. And then someone in the comments wrote, oh, I felt bad because I haven't been eating vegetables, but now I feel better. And she was like, yeah, you don't need vegetables, blah, 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 blah. And then the reply was, yeah, I've been eating sausage, bacon, and eggs, and that's all I've been eating. I've lost weight. Guys, you can't lose weight eating Domino's every single day. You could. Is it healthy? No. Okay, so be careful, because that woman, and then I went on her profile and she was like a conspiracy theorist and all this shit. Like, there's no coincidence, is it? Probably a flat earther. And so we've got to be careful about who we listen to. Is there evidence to support it? Not anecdotes. I mean, anecdotes are helpful, but evidence. Evidence from labs, evidence from thousands of clients, okay? Evidence from explorative trials and things like that. We need evidence that can be proven over and over and over and over and over and over again. Not, well, bloody Noir, let's pretend her name was Noir because it was. She just lost 5 stone just eating meat. Fucking good for you. Go get your cholesterol checked. It's probably not very good. Where are you getting fiber from? So anyway, this is just a point of make sure you are listening to the correct people, okay? The right information is out there, and if you're in our Facebook group, you'll be getting it all the time from us. And Rachel does love steak. I love a steak as well, but I wouldn't recommend only eating meat.
Some potatoes and broccoli with it.
Yeah, like Tracy.
Yeah, I think what we're saying is it's not the information that you lack, like that is out there, although like we just said, it can be a little bit of a minefield. The main thing is it's your behaviors, it's your, like your habits, and it's how you action all this knowledge that's like either keeping you from gaining weight or you lose weight and then you can't maintain it. This is the biggest challenge for us as coaches, as although we want to just tell you the facts, eat 1 gram of protein per pound or whatever it is. Like, that's scientifically proven right, but it doesn't really help you. We need to make sure that your behaviors are in place. Like our clients with Jodie, Rachel, Tammy's there. We're trying to like work on behaviors. But if they've been doing these behaviors for 10 years, we're going to have to be knocking at the door or the window, or the back door, or the upstairs window for quite a while to try and get this new habit to sort of roll in so they can maintain the weight once they get there. So I think that's the biggest thing. Like, information isn't always your biggest problem. Like, you can find it.
Yeah, like if you watch our lives, we give tons of free, correct, evidence-backed information, but unless you do something with it, fuck all's going to change. Nothing's going to change. So knowledge without implementation is just noise. So you could have all the knowledge in the world, but if you don't apply it, good luck. Nothing's going to happen. So carry on reading the books, carry on following influencers, carry on following researchers, carry on reading the articles, but nothing is going to change unless you actually do something with the knowledge that you've got.
And even if you try and get it wrong, that's still better than nothing, because you're learning. You either win or you learn. And you've learned either it works for your body or it doesn't. You've learned this bloats me or it doesn't.
Yeah.
You've learned this helps me lose a couple of pounds or it doesn't. You know what to do next time. I think that the biggest thing is people just don't start.
Yeah.
And then you can't modify. We don't know the perfect numbers. We know all the formulas, but it doesn't mean we have the perfect numbers to start with every client.
Yeah.
But we make a start and then we adapt along the way. Like, that is a secret of every nutrition coach. Even like we met Lane Norton. He doesn't know the exact calories. He's like coached over 5,000 clients in his lifetime of like 10 to 15 years of coaching. He said he doesn't even know the perfect numbers, but he has a good experience on where to start, and then he modifies it from there.
Yeah. And actually, the way that he coaches clients is exactly the way that we coach it, because we had a conversation with him. We were in the corridor, and he basically told us what he does, and we were like, well, that's what we do. So good to know we're on the right track. So what?
Back to reverse dieting.
Yeah, back to reverse dieting.
I did have a good point to make.
Go on,
so a con of reverse dieting that leads into a con of calorie deficits and a pro of reverse dieting. So when we're in a calorie deficit for long periods of time, your metabolism doesn't become broken, but it starts to adapt. So if Jenny is only having 1,200 calories for like long periods of time, and the body actually needs like 1,700-1,800, the body now needs one way. It's a safety mechanism. It starts to lower your metabolism, which means it lowers your overall movement. So you probably start to lose muscle. You're going to start to move less. You'll fidget less. You're going to be less motivated.
That's your NEAT, isn't it?
Yeah, NEAT within your metabolism.
Yeah.
But as a whole,
I was going to say, like, it'll start shutting down like bodily functions. Yeah, like a lot of people will lose their menstrual cycle, lose their period, and become infertile, at least temporarily, because of the body's safety mechanism, like you said.
But just for this example, part of the metabolism is your NEAT, so how much you move generally outside it will like within the day. So that starts to lower when you've been in a deficit prolonged. If you had maybe the young version of you and the like slightly older version that's been chronically dieting, you'll probably move less. You'll walk at a slower pace. You'll fidget way less. So you're going to actually naturally burn, just for an example, 300 calories less now. The body's done its job. It's safer than what it was before because it's not in a higher deficit, and this takes time to happen. It's not like overnight.
I think Aaron Aragon, who is Alan Aragon. I don't think we call him Alan Aragon, who's a nutritional scientist researcher. He found that the number of calories that you're in a deficit of, your NEAT will be reduced. So your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. This is like me talking with my hands, calm fidgeting, those kinds of like, little bits that you don't really think about doing, but you are doing. So what he found was for every 1,000 calories, you were in every 500 calories you're in deficit, you dropped your NEAT by half. So for every 2 calories, basically, your NEAT dropped by 1 calorie. So you think you're in deficit of 500, but actually your NEAT reduces by about 250. So you're actually only in a 250 deficit. So that's one thing. But on the flip side, if you increased by 1,000 calories, your NEAT would increase by 300. So you're actually burning 300 calories more a day than what you would have been otherwise at maintenance. So I thought that's really interesting. So the more calories you have in, the more calories your body wants to burn, has got more energy to do things. Whereas the more calories the less calories you eat, the less your body wants to move.
Yeah, so like that was the example of just because you're in a deficit after a while, you won't stay in a 500 calorie deficit even if you were right to start with all the time. At some point, the body starts to adapt down to lower your overall movement and NEAT, so it burns less, so it's in a smaller deficit because then it's safer. And then when we start to reverse diet, that is what we mean by you're reversing metabolic adaptation. So where your body had slowed you down to burn less calories overall, now when people say, oh, I added 300 calories, I'm eating 300 calories more and I'm losing weight, it's because it's going back up the other way. And not everyone, like, it doesn't mean like everyone's metabolism moves slightly differently, but generally if we added 200 back in, your body's like, I've got 200 calories more now. It starts to rebuild back up to what you were. Like, you move way more, you talk more. So it doesn't mean that you've gone from 1300 to 1500. That doesn't mean you're in a 200 calorie surplus, like 200 calories way more. You're actually just pushing yourself back into where you should be. So that's like where the seesaw goes of like reverse dieting. It's reversing the effects of what a long-term deficit has on you. It slows you down, and now we're sort of rebuilding the metabolism back up, because like your overall, like one point of your metabolism is your NEAT, and that will start to increase. So just because you've added 300 calories doesn't mean it's a 300 calorie surplus.
Yeah, in fact, roughly it would be about 240 surplus, because 60 calories approximately would now be expelled by fidgeting, etc.
Yeah, and some people is way more, some people is less. Like some people just fidget loads, like people with ADHD probably have a faster metabolism because they just fidget more, talk more. If I had it, I'd be good, wouldn't it?
You fidget all the time. Like shaking his leg or like shaking the table. I was like, oh.
I was trying to burn max calories.
Trying to burn off that donut. So generally, who would you say needs a reverse diet? I wouldn't put a name on anyone, but I'd say Tracy Ann for one. Generally though. Don't worry, Fiona, it is recorded and it'll be on the podcast as well. Guys, if you didn't know, we've got a podcast. It's called Hangry and Hormonal. So Spotify, Hangry and Hormonal. But who, aside from Tracy, would you say needs to be on a reverse diet? Like, when is the trigger, I guess?
Definitely when you've hit like a long-term weight loss plateau, and that's not like the odd 1 week, it's not the odd 2 weeks that I haven't lost weight, when you've actually just stopped tracking, or you've actually ate out 3 or 4 times more. But it's where if everything's been identical for like, say, I don't know, 3 weeks, and on a 3 week weekly average, it starts to plateau, and you've already been dieting for like 3 or 4 months, like that would be a good time. Anything over like 16 weeks, and then nothing starts to happen, nothing's moving anymore, and you're already very close to your BMR or under your BMR, then that's like a warning sign. I think the biggest red flag is if you're under your BMR, you probably need to be reverse dieting.
Yeah, you just need to get out of there as soon as possible. Not even like a gentle increase, like you need to get out of that deficit ASAP for your health.
We haven't mentioned it. There's 2 ways you can reverse diet, and there is one way, like even through the science, they say you can just jump straight back to your maintenance. But through working with people and experience, we build people up slowly, purely on the psychological. And that comes from, although the science says you can't automatically jump back to your maintenance, which you have to try and guess anyway, but you get an initial lump of like weight gain because you've increased loads of food and calories. But we do it through sort of like doing it like that, but we working with lots of people. Psychologically, it's way easier to build people up week to week.
It's just like we do with the diet. We don't like put people in a 500 calorie deficit or a 600 calorie deficit. We don't just go from 2,000 calories down to 1,200. Instead, we might go 150 or 200 calories less. And the same on the reverse up, we might do 100 to 200 calories increase, and then see how it goes. You will gain a little bit of weight and then you plateau, just like you will lose weight and then you plateau, and then you lose weight, you plateau. It's just the same as backwards. One more question, Cam, before we need to go, is how long should you reverse diet for?
This isn't the answer what people want to hear. You could just say an easy way is like 1-to-1. If you've been dieting for 16 weeks, reverse diet for 16 weeks. If you've been honestly in a calorie deficit for like 8 months, be at maintenance for 8 months. Because you have to reverse the stuff that you've done to your body. You can't do it overnight. The more extreme the diet, the more extreme the damage and the adaptations. And people just want to hear it. They'll go looking for the information that someone tells you that you can reverse diet in 2 weeks and you're done.
No,
you can't.
You've got to, and guys, like you've got to, when we're talking about like who you follow and stuff, don't just look for things you want to hear. because that won't get you the results. A lot of our clients do not want to reverse diet, and we drag them through kicking and screaming, and in the end they're like, oh my god, I look amazing, I feel amazing, my energy's gone up, my strength's gone up. Like Grace is 2 pounds up, I think, isn't she? And she looks incredible. Like
she's 5 pounds up, isn't she?
Oh, is she?
Yeah.
Oh, 2 to 5 pounds, wherever it was. Anyway, but she looks incredible. We'll put her transformation.
She had been dieting for ages.
Yeah.
And then we put her into a lean bulking phase and told her to gain weight and gain muscle.
Which is scary.
And she's lost her belly.
Yeah.
It's flat. It's starting to turn.
Yeah.
But,
so if you've been dieting for 8 months, the best time to start a reverse diet is right now, because we've got, if you're in the States, you've got all the holidays coming up, you've got Thanksgiving coming up, and then obviously everyone's got Christmas and New Year's, and it's winter, so you kind of want to be eating a little bit more. So winter is bulk season, guys. It is bulk season, is our favorite season of all. And then what are we? October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. June, you can start to come out of that of the reverse diet and the bulk, and then you'll start shredding all the body fat that you've gained, and then next summer you'll be lean, you'll be strong, you'll be confident. So stop looking for quick fixes and start your reverse diet today. If you are struggling, if you want help with a reverse diet, Rachel, music to my ears, drop us a message, drop us a DM with the word reverse, or write reverse into the comments, and we will help you guys get out of your deficit and steadily increase calories and increase the metabolism, improve your health, okay? Ready for next summer. So reverse in the comments or drop us a message, and we'll be happy to help you guys out. That is it. If you're a client, we're about to hop into the Zoom. I'll drop the link in the private group shortly. And if you guys have got any questions, then just give us a shout. Happy Wednesday.